You turn on the TV, and the first thing pops up when you're on the news is the minimum wage. You got people for it, and you've got people against it. But in reality, they never really go into huge detail on right or wrong. They present one side and never the other. And most of the times, they get radical people on there that they want to be paid all the gold of the kingdom, and that will just take money from the producer, and he'll just live with that. But in reality, that's not how it works. Milton Friedman, famous economist, once said, "What you are doing is to assure people whose skills are not sufficient to justify that kind of wage will not be employed. Minimum wage law is most properly described as a law saying employees must discriminate against people who have low skills." And what that kind of means is people are losing their jobs because when the minimum wage rises, the immediate thing the producers think is, oh, I have to cut people. It's not I retain everyone and I just pay them and take a chunk out of my pocket. That's not how it works. And so today I'm going to give you a little more insight, and I'm going to talk about the minimum wage increase and the disastrous effects it can have on the economy. Origins of the minimum wage. So the minimum wage was created by the Fair Labor Standards Act, FLSA. It was signed into law June 25th, 1938 by FDR, longest tenure in presidency. It was in the midst of the Great Depression. So people were, unemployment was at an all-time high. He was trying to stimulate some way to get money in people's pockets so they could pay. So another good intentions, but bad policy. It was 25 cents per hour, which today is $4.04 in purchasing power, which we all know the minimum wage nationwide is not $4 anymore because of inflation. Another thing, when you raise the minimum wage, inflation goes up. And another main thing is John Whidbey in the minimum wage updated research roundup on the effects of increasing pay. Prices will go up if the minimum wage goes up. So once again, the main point, that extra money is not gonna stay in your pocket. So paying fast food restaurant employees $15 an hour, well, what happens? Well, prices could increase by 4.3%. So say I go to McDonald's and my fast food order is $10. Well, now that they're paying everyone, Johnny and Sharon are getting $15. They're getting $15 an hour. My meal is going to go up to $10.43, and so on and so forth. Now, of course, that 43 cents, that doesn't seem like a lot, but you add all that up, all the people that go fast food across the world. I mean, McDonald's, that's how many, they said they sold over 1 billion hamburgers. I don't know if that's to be proud of, but that right there just shows you all the money that's gonna, it's not, you're not just keeping it, it's gonna be recirculated and so on and so forth. Another main point is jobs will be lost. So immediately the wages are raised, the producer's like, well, how can I maximize my profits? Am I going to take the hit? No. I'm going to try and pass those costs on to someone else somehow, some way. So say my city or my state has a minimum wage of $15 an hour. Well, I'm immediately going to think there's big incentives for me to move across local borders. So I'm going to move to a different state or a different city where the labor's cheaper. And that's going to be my big incentive, or I'm going to cut back on my workforce so I can maximize my profits in that sort of way. And then 10 lowest skilled workers will be laid off, so that ties in. If you're at the lower end of the totem pole, they're gonna get rid of your wages. You're gonna be laid off, and then that's gonna increase unemployment. And if you do get lucky to keep your job, your hours are going to be cut back, benefits reduced, so that way they don't have to pay you as much. So they're always going to find some way to make sure the cost doesn't hurt that. Another thing is new people won't be hired. It's just that simple. Jobs, they're cutting the labor force back, so your jobs aren't going to be plentiful to say. Another thing, very common misconception is, oh well, we're giving them $15, it's going to lift them out of poverty, but no. The prices, it's not just with fast food, the prices are going to go up with everything. So when you go to the store, if the bar soap factory is paying, they have to pay $15 to their workers, their soap's going up. Food, same thing, anything. You pay farmer $15 an hour, that's going up. So inflation will all increase, and that will cause you to spend more money. So in reality, your standard of living is not changing. And another very, very, very thing that always trips people up is most people working minimum wage jobs aren't the sole source of income in their household. You go to the mall, go to a clothing store, go to fast food restaurants. I don't know, anybody see 60-year-olds as most of the people working, or 50-year-olds? I mean, no, you see teenagers. You see people like us that live in a household with 4 or 5 other people that who knows what they're doing it for. They could be in school, they could be trying to get more money in their pocket, but they're not the sole source of income for their household. Them getting $7 more an hour, 20 hours more a week is not going to lift their family out of poverty. And another thing is it harms businesses. Businesses will employ people as long as they're maximizing their profits. So I'm going to do everything I can to make the most money, and that's just human nature. We're not going to, unless it's our family or something. We'll take the cut. We'll take the hit for them. But other than that, we're not going to take just for random employees. We're thinking, how can we maximize our profits? And the producer, like I said, is never going to take the loss. They're going to pass on the cost to the consumer, so raise prices, etc. Or they're going to lay off workers and drop hours for the others and decrease benefits, all to make ends meet while still maximizing their profits. So what can you do? Now, number one, obviously vote. That's very broad. Not everyone is a U.S. citizen. I'm well aware. Some people are on student visas. If you are a citizen of the United States, on the next ballot, vote. If there's ever minimum wage propositions, vote. Vote against it. It harms the economy. It's good intentions, but bad policy is the easiest way to explain it. Number two, if you're not a citizen, go sign the petition. I didn't get a picture of it, I forgot, but shiftwa.org, no on the $15 national minimum wage. And this will help our economy drastically. There's better ways than just raising a 15 minimum wage. And for the reasons aforementioned, increasing the minimum wage is not in the best interest of our nation. Increasing the minimum wage will cause prices to rise, jobs to be lost, businesses to be harmed, and also not reduce poverty rates. Sign the petition, go vote, and be the change in the world you wish to see.